Hi, I'm Amy. This is House of Nash Eats, and today we're making my crispy cast iron skillet chicken thighs. Alright, so to make our crispy cast iron skillet chicken thighs, we're just going to combine some salt, pepper, this is coarsely ground pepper, and garlic powder in a bowl. We keep the seasoning really simple, but you'll be surprised by how much flavor you really get out of these simple seasonings in this method of making chicken. I'm just gonna stir those together. Now we're going to take our chicken thighs, and these are bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. And this is one of my favorite cuts, and you could do this with boneless chicken thighs, but I really think they're so much better with the bone-in. So we're going to pat them really well dry with some paper towel, which helps crisp up the skin. And we're gonna take those off and season them. So now take your chicken thighs that you've patted dry and the seasoning, and we're just going to sprinkle it over the top, right on the skin, and then we'll flip them over and sprinkle the other side with the other half of the seasoning. This works for about 6 to 8 chicken thighs, which is about all I can fit in my large cast iron skillet anyway. If you want to double the recipe, you're really going to need to have 2 cast iron skillets to work with. Then you can just rub that in a little bit so it's evenly coated all around on both sides. Now we're going to get our pan hot. All right, so now we're ready to start cooking our chicken. Now this recipe is really about technique. So you wanna use a cast iron skillet and get it nice and hot. Like it should be preheating on high heat for like a solid 1 to 2 minutes. And then we're going to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil. Okay, and once that has had a chance to heat up, we're going to add our chicken, skin side down. And when you put it on the pan, don't move it at all. So be careful how you arrange it. And then cover it with a splatter guard so that it doesn't splatter grease everywhere. And we're going to let that cook for 7 to 9 minutes until the chicken will release from the pan and it's browned on the skin side. Okay, once the chicken is cooked for about 7 to 9 minutes, you should be able to remove the splatter guard and flip the chicken over, and it should release really easily from the pan and be nice and golden brown. And I should have mentioned this earlier, but be sure your oven is preheated to 425 degrees. We'll put that at the start of the recipe. Once you flip the chicken, we're gonna pop this whole cast iron skillet straight in the oven at 425 degrees and bake for 18 to 20 minutes until the chicken registers 165 degrees Fahrenheit on a digital meat thermometer. Okay, so I've got my chicken out of the oven. Now, keep in mind that the time to cook your chicken is going to depend on how large your chicken thighs are. So use a digital meat thermometer like this one to make sure to check the temperature, and once it's 165 degrees, it's done and you can pull it out. So now we're just going to put this on a plate, and the great thing about cooking your chicken this way is that initial sear with the skin side down helps to render some of the fat out of the chicken and really crisp up the skin. And then when you flip it over and finish it in the oven, the meat gets nice and tender and it stays really juicy and the skin is nice and crispy. This is my favorite way to eat chicken skin, and normally I don't like that, but I like it in this. Okay, so my chicken is done, so I'm going to taste it now. So I'm gonna grab a piece of the chicken and put it over here. Okay, I'm going to give this chicken a try now. And this recipe makes enough for about 4 servings, 4 people with 2 breasts per person. not breasts, thighs, with 2 thighs per person. You could probably do this with breast meat. We never do because I really love the moist, juicy thigh meat, but it would work with breasts. It would just take longer in the oven. So I've got some of the meat and some of the, I've got some of the meat and some of that crispy skin with all the like simple seasonings. I'm gonna give it a try. That is fantastic chicken. It's almost got like a fried chicken quality because the skin is crispy and it's seasoned so well, but it's not as heavy as fried chicken. It's wonderfully moist throughout because of that great dark thigh meat. This is one of our favorite weeknight dinners. It's super hands-off and easy once you put it in the oven, and you can whip up some sides to go with it, and everybody is happy. If you like these cast iron skillet chicken thighs, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more great recipes, and let me know in the comments below what you would serve these with.